Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day here in Tasmania and we're going to do something a little bit different today. Today we're going to do a how-to on sniping, and I haven't been doing it that long myself. I don't profess to be an expert or anything like that, but there are a few things that I've learnt that will hopefully help you guys in finding gold anywhere, wherever you are in the world. You can use the same techniques, the same gear, and hopefully you can find some good colour. Alright, so we'll start out first with the tools that I use. So let's go find them. Okay, so we'll go through the three most important tools that I use. I keep it pretty simple when I snipe. There are other tools that people use, but I just want to go through the things that I've learnt and the experiences I've had. So first and foremost is your snuffer bottle. Now all I have here is a fizzy bottle or a soda bottle if you're in America or other parts of the world, not sure what you call them. I've just drilled a hole through the lid, and I've got this brass tubing which is thicker than most tips on a snuffer bottle, and it's good for those larger bits of gold. So secondly, I use what I call crake. Now crake is just a mini crowbar with a rake head welded to the end of it. So I use crake for removing the river gravels off the bedrock. When I started out, I was doing a lot of hand work and I'd rip through the ends of my gloves really quick, and this saved a lot of glove damage, and even the ends of my fingertips at times would get worn off from scratching too long without recognising that the tips of my gloves were gone. So if you want to make up something like that, they're very, very handy, and it's been one of my favourite tools underwater when I'm sniping. Okay, so I also use a large screwdriver. Now a lot of people will use a traditional crevicing hook or something that looks like that. These are good for those really tight crevices, for ripping the gold out, and also any tight packed rocks. Now most of the rivers I go to, I can get away with a large screwdriver just like that one. And now I always carry a little spoon. Sometimes the gold's trapped in a crevice down in the clay, and it's just easier to scoop it out with a spoon, and then you can break the clay away and find the gold within the clay later on. And last and probably least on my list is a pickaxe or a hammer. A lot of people will break bedrock with a pickaxe, this sort of thing. I don't really tend to carry one like that. I don't break a lot of bedrock in the first place. Most of the best gold that I've found is either under the gravel on the bedrock itself or trapped in the crevices. If I do need to break bedrock, my crake's got quite a heavy chunk of steel there on the end, and it still works as a hammer, so it's very effective. You can also pry it, obviously being a crowbar, so it's good for breaking bedrock as well. It is important when you go sniping to try and stay warm. There's nothing worse than getting an hour into a trip and getting cold and having to get out and try and warm up. So what I wear, I just wear a two-piece wetsuit. It's 7mm top and 5mm bottoms. If you're in a cold climate like Tasmania, Canada, Europe, somewhere like that, you're going to need at least a 7mm wetsuit to stay warm for long periods of time. Okay, now your hands, your head and your feet are crucial to keep warm. I use a 5mm hood, and usually I struggle to tuck it in on my own. See how we go. There you go. Zip up, done it right there. I wouldn't go without a hood. So for my feet I use these little socks. They're just neoprene socks that keep your feet warm, and over the top obviously my boots, and they've got neoprene as well, so it's just all wetsuit material except for the rubber soles. Now that's the only way I've been able to keep my feet warm during the winter, is to have both of those on. Now, I've tried other things but they don't work. Okay guys, so when it comes to gloves, I started out with a lot of trial and error. I was buying wetsuit gloves nearly every trip, and I'd wear them out really quick from the river gravels. It's just the nature of scratching around on the bedrock and the gravels, and they just wear out too quick, and then your fingers get cold. So now that we're going into summer here in Tassie, I have found that these rubber gardening gloves work really well, and so far I haven't put holes in them, and they also protect the backs of your fingers as well. When I'm using crake, I was skinning my knuckles as clean as well, so they work really well. Okay, so it's important to have a good mask that seals and suits the shape of your face. The Mirage brand's been really good for me. This is the only one I ever wear. It seems to suit my face well. Now, for all those beard lovers, it is really important, if you're going to seal up really well, you just got to get rid of that beard. I think in most cases, if you've got a beard, your mask will leak, and I usually run the beard. You can see in the photo that I'm about to show you now. This is one of my secrets. I don't know how many people use baby shampoo, but just a drop on each lens, and make sure you rub it in really good. Cover the whole lens. You give it a good rinse out. Just put a bit of water in there. You can run your finger in it a bit. I usually find with baby shampoo you'll get 5 to 6 hours before you have any fogging issues, which is pretty good. I've used aftermarket products before and they just don't work, but this stuff I promise you does work. So just baby shampoo of any brand. If anybody does have any tips on how you can keep a beard and still wear a mask and it not leak, I'd love to hear from you, so drop it in the comments below. That'd be awesome. So when you're sniping over the bedrock, it's really hard on your wetsuit, and you can see here I've worn the knees out. What I do is I cut a section of my old wetsuits, and I've just been wearing that over the top to protect my knees, but I'm still working on some ideas and ways that we can stop that from happening. If you have any tips on that, let us know, because I'd love to hear that also. Okay guys, now I don't like to do a video without showing some gold, so we'll get down to the river, we'll jump in and we'll see what we can find. Now, just to make things clear, the gold in today's video is from a few different trips and a few different days. Because the gold's heavy, you can use your hand to fan away all the loose gravels and the gold gets left behind underneath. Now, a lot of the gold I find is behind ledges in the river, or what they call a low pressure zone. Because the gold's heavy, it'll fall over the ledge, drop down on the bedrock or in the gravels, and the water pressure's not strong enough to keep pushing the gold back down the river. One of my larger nuggets that I've found is a 2.5 gram gold nugget, which was found just behind a small ledge sitting underneath all the gravels. The gold can quite often get caught up under the ledges and tucked right back in underneath. In this shot here, I used my screwdriver to clean out a small crevice which reveals a few small pieces of gold. There's always something new to be found when sniping for gold. On this particular day, I came across a really green rock. Here's a nice little picker from a recent trip. And in the same crevice, another nice piece of gold. This is the type of bedrock that I typically find most of the captured gold. Because it's sharp and jagged, it's the perfect spot for the gold to drop out. Once the gravels are removed from on top, you just suck up all that gold. Fanning gravels and removing rocks is a huge part of sniping. This piece of gold here is in a deep crevice which had previously had the tight pack rocks removed. It is important when you're searching for gold to look for those tight pack rocks. The gold gets trapped underneath those and you have to use that crevicing tool to get rid of the rocks and the gravels. The beauty of sniping is that typically you can find larger gold. This nugget here was just under 1 gram. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope that there's something that you've learnt that will help you with your own sniping when you're searching for gold underwater. If you do have any questions or any feedback that you want to leave, drop it in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you on it. And if you're a new viewer and you've enjoyed what you've seen today, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos to come. And until next time, happy hunting wherever you are in this big wide world.
Are you going to take your socks off?
Should probably take my socks off first. Not easy making videos. Booties are on. You said be myself. Put that in the credits. My gardening gloves.